Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we have a new project featuring on the channel. So this started life as a Opel Manta GTE exclusive. As you can see now, it's had quite a lot of modifications, including the 400 replica body kit, some big wheels which I don't particularly like, but we'll get back to that, and many other modifications. I have just purchased this car, and it is a project I've took on from somebody else basically, so it is kind of a work in progress kind of situation. The car has been on the road, however it has been parked up for a while now and it has developed some issues, hence the previous owner has given up on it. I've now taken it on. I have a habit of taking on other people's projects. Usually they bite me in the backside, but hopefully this one will be different. It's got a really good look about this car. There is various issues with it which we'll get to very shortly. It does need quite a bit of work. It's not particularly brilliant, however it is very presentable and it is a very nice looking car. The paintwork isn't the best. There is a couple of little bits wrong with it. You can see there we do have a crack in the fiberglass body kit where it's been bonded to the car. We also have a crack just there in the side skirt as well, and there is quite a few blemishes in the paintwork itself. Now I have given this a quick polishing. It was quite a lot dirtier than this when I got it. It's been sat under a gazebo in a yard for quite a while. Had some moss around the seals and quite a lot of dust on it, and it just was quite dirty in general. However, it is now looking quite a lot better. The spoiler does need painting. As you can see there, it's actually a grey spoiler, so this must have been an afterthought, but the rest of the car isn't too bad. It's not the best paint job I've ever seen, but it is very presentable, as I've said. Now getting to these wheels, what we're saying about these wheels, guys, I think they are absolutely disgusting on this car. I mean, they might look alright on another car, but I just don't think they suit this car. They actually look better on the video than they do in person. The ride out needs altering as well. The car does need lowering quite a way on the front end. The tyres are quite stretched as well, which just doesn't suit the look of the car. So I'll take you for a little look inside before we go any further. Now this car is packing a little bit of a punch, and there is something quite special under the bonnet. Again, we will get to that in a moment, but let's have a look at this interior and see what you think about this. Check that out. It's actually very nice in here. It's been fully retrimmed with the Opel Blitz material in the middle. Not particularly keen on the steering wheel. Again, I don't think it suits the vibe of the car, so I probably will be changing that. I'll take you for a little look in the back as well. Roofline is good. Got a cheap nasty radio in there, so we'll probably swap that out. We've got a boost pressure gauge here, so that will probably give you an inkling as to what's going on under the bonnet. Pretty much standard. Everything else, there is quite a lot of additional switches which do function and do serve a purpose. We've got some aluminium foot pedals there as well. So yeah, overall I think it's quite a nice looking car, guys. It should make for a good project for the channel. We're not going all out on this. We're not doing a full restoration. We are just basically gonna sort out quite a lot of the issues on this, get it running and driving properly, get it re-MOT'd, getting it looking as best as it can. Now what do we think about these stickers, guys? I don't particularly like these stickers in yellow. I'm not a fan of this sun visor stripe thing here on the window either. I think that'll be coming off. Let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think about the wheels and the stickers. Should we change the wheels, remove the stickers, leave the car plain with no stickers on it? Do we leave the car as it is, or do we put some different kind of stickers on there, some different wheels? So again, let me know in the comments, guys, where you think we should go with this one. Now let me just pop this bonnet up. Let's have a little look at what's going on under here. There we go. Check that out. There's a lot of stuff going under here. So this is actually running a Z20 LET engine, which is basically in the VXRs, the Astra VXRs. I think it was an Astra H they was in. Well, check that out. There's a lot of money being spent under here. It does look very nice indeed. It is a bit of a Jubilee clip city. There's Jubilee clips absolutely everywhere, so we'll be changing them for proper pipe clamps. The wiring on this car is absolutely horrendous. We've got stuff like this going on all over the place. Everything's just loose and rubbing. These pipes rubbing against each other. There's wires everywhere. Everything's just not very nice at all. We've got just bulks of wires just everywhere. So we will be tidying all this up and making it look much better than it currently does. Now there is a running issue with this car. As I was saying earlier, it has been on the road, it has been used, put away, running completely fine. It's come to start it up recently and it just basically fires up and then just dies. So there is something going on here. So we need to get to the bottom of that. We will be digging into this very soon, testing various things. We'll be checking for a spark, we'll be checking, we've got fuel, we're checking the injectors, the wiring and so on and so forth. So without further ado guys, let's get into this project, let's get into this build and let's see if we can get this beast of an engine running, and let's see if we can actually get this thing driving and see what sort of power it's got. We're giving it a quick, if we do get it running and driving, we're giving it a quick razz up and down the yard and see how quick it is. So yeah, let's get into it guys, let's have a look. Right, so there's quite a lot of things wrong with this car, just having a brief look around it. Now we will go through all the stuff I've found wrong with this car very, very shortly. But where I'm going to start with this is I'm going to try and actually get this thing running. I would like to know it runs and dries before we go any further with this car. So I'm going to start by checking the oil level, obviously make sure it's got plenty of oil in before we go any further. And I'm going to take this spark plug cover off. I'm going to actually pull the plugs out and I'm going to see if we've got any spark. I have turned the fuel pump off so we can turn this over without worrying about a load of fuel getting its way into the engine. So not sure what's going on with these braces over this plug cover. I'm hoping these are sealed, because if they're not, obviously these are probably going to leak oil, because it looks like they've been put directly into the rocker cover. So I'm going to take these plugs out, we'll put the battery, connect the battery back up, and then we'll see if we've got any spark, and then we'll work our way from there, and then we can check the fuel, stuff like that, see if we can actually figure out what's wrong with this car and why it won't start. So that's all our plugs out. You see a couple of them look wet and a couple of them look dry, but they do look very, very fouled up, them plugs, so I'll give those a quick clean before we put them back in. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the battery lead on. I'm going to crank this over with no plugs in, just to make sure that the bores are clear, because I don't want a load of fuel coming out of here while the plugs are in the leads, and obviously these sparking up and igniting any fuel that could potentially come out of those cylinders. So make sure these cylinders are clear, and then we'll put the plugs in those coil packs and see if we've got a spark. Right, so now we know these cylinders are clear. I'm going to pop the spark plugs into the coil packs and let's see if we get any spark. All four, yeah? Yeah. Stand back a bit. Okay, so plugs cleaned up, let's get these back in. Right, so now I've cleaned them plugs up and we know we've got a spark. Let's just try again and see if we get anything at all when we try and turn this over. So it is trying to start this thing, but I'm thinking at this point this is a fuel pressure issue. What I'm going to try here, I think this is the quickest way to eliminate whether this is a fuel issue. I've just popped the intake off there. I'm going to put a little bit of fuel down its neck. I've got some fuel mixed up here in a spray bottle. I'm going to spray a little bit of this into the intake, which is there. And let's see if this fires up. If this fires up and continues running with a little bit of fuel that I'm spraying in there, then we know that our issue is definitely fuel related. Let's give this a go. Right, so that seemed to work, so now we know definitely that our issue is 100% fuel related. So I think what I'm going to do first here is I'm just going to disconnect this filter. I'm going to put this fuel pipe into a drum. I'm going to turn the key on, let's see what kind of fuel flow we get, and let's have an assessment of the fuel what's in this car, because we've no idea how long this fuel's been in here. It could be bad fuel, it could be E10 instead of E5, because a lot of these cars do not like to run on this new E10 fuel. So I think I might just drain the whole tank, put some fresh fuel in it and go from there. But at least when we disconnect this and we turn the fuel pump on, we will get a feel for how much fuel's coming out and what sort of pressure's behind that. Plenty of fuel flowing. I suppose the flow could be better, but I'd expect it to at least start an idle on that. So that is all the old fuel drained out. Now, just for trial purposes again, I do not know how old that fuel was. I don't know if it's the E10 or the E5. I've heard bad things about the E10. We've completely drained the tank, and I've got 2 drums there now, super unleaded, 97 octane. So I'm going to put this in, and then we'll see if that makes any difference. Right, so that's both cans of fuel in. What I'm going to do now is turn the ignition back on. I'm going to run a little bit of fuel back through all the pipes. Drain a little bit more fuel out, basically just to flush this clean fuel right through the system, so we know it's all the pipes and everything are flushed out and it's got good fuel right through. Right, so with the fresh fuel in, we've bled some of that through the system, so we made sure all the pipes have now got clean fuel in. I'll put that intake back on. Let's fire it and see if that's made any difference. Well, she doesn't like that. Not sure whether that's a timing issue, an ignition timing issue, or an injector issue now. It kind of tries to stay running if I pump the accelerator, but as you can hear then it's misfiring and backfiring, so more investigation required. Right, so at this point I am thinking we've got a problem here with the injectors. Now I may have some spare injectors that will fit this. I'm not sure of the correct CC injectors, but I'm hoping at least it will run and idle enough to tell us whether that is the issue or not. Now there could also be an issue with the injectors getting triggered, i.e. the wiring or something in the ECU. Now this car is running a Simtech management system, so I do need to find some software to plug that in, and maybe it'll give me some idea of what's wrong there, but at the moment I don't have the software to plug this car in, so I'm going to try and swap out these injectors just to see if that makes any difference. Hopefully we can get it idling at that point and we know it is the injectors and not the wiring to the injectors, so let's give that a whirl. So I'm going to try and pop these injectors out. Now I've got some injectors here, They look like they'll fit. I'm not entirely sure whether they will or not until I've got this strip. These are some injectors that I bought for a previous car that was running standalone management and stuff, so I'm hoping that these should fit. Now, as I was saying earlier, they might not be the correct ones, they might not be the correct CC and all that, but the aim of the game here is basically just to see if it changes the way the car reacts. So at least if it starts up and idles, then we know that the issue is with the injector itself and not with the wiring. So I'm going to pop this fuel rail off. I have already released the pressure from the fuel rail. Pop these injectors out, bang these in and see if it works. Right, so I've got the fuel rail off here and I've just had a thought. I think what I'm going to try and do, while all this is still piped up and all connected and the injectors are still in the rail, I'm actually going to get Tom to just spin this car over very quickly and just see if all 4 of these injectors do actually fire. So then at least we know, don't we, rather than changing all the injectors out first. Let's spin it over and see what it does. Because I'm just going to see if they do anything. Right, go on, go for it. Yeah, not a right lot though. I expected a bit more than that. Ignition off. Put one of these replacement injectors in and see if we get any more fuel out of it. Let's try one of these in, just for the sake of it. Change all these out. Right, so let's see what happens now. See if we get any more fuel out of this one compared to the others. Right, less if anything. So I've just done a little bit of research online and I've just read that the throttle bodies give grief on these, so I'm just going to unplug the throttle body and see if that makes any difference at all. Let's give that a whirl. Well, that did seem to change things. It actually ran then and ticked over. However, I was having to pump the throttle pedal very slightly just to keep it idling. So it's looking like it could be the throttle body that's at fault. So I'm just going to whip this off and see if I can see anything obvious inside that could be causing the issue. So I've took the top intake off. I've just got Tom in the car now. I'm going to put the ignition on. When Tom presses the throttle pedal, that should open up the flap butterfly inside the throttle body. Let's give it some throttle, Tom. As you can see, that is working, so I can't see it actually being the throttle body, which is weird because it does run with it unplugged, but it won't rev. With it plugged in, it won't pretty much do anything at all. It tries to fire and then conks out immediately, so I'm a bit of a loss at this point. Right, so I've been fidgeting with this now for quite some hours and I don't really seem to be getting very far at all. Now, I've unplugged most things, as you've seen, and tried various different components unplugged. Now, the last thing I've got to is this thing here, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. Let's see if you can see that there, guys. That thing there, I've just took the pipe off it, like a suction hose, which goes to the throttle body. So I'm just going to try with this pipe off and crimp the pipe over, because I'm wondering if there's some sort of suction leak somewhere. I've just spoke to a mate of mine and he's actually said that he had a very similar thing with his car that had the Z20 LET engine in it, and it had a suction leak on one of these little pipes which was from the throttle body. So I've just, this pipe here goes directly to the throttle body, so if I'll unplug it and just sort of see what happens. That's all I can do at this point. So I've took that off now. Let's see if it makes any difference. Yes, that has made a difference. If I go to this pipe now and see what happens. Ah, whoa. How weird is that? Ah, okay then. So I'm thinking maybe this might be sort of piped up wrong with the suction hoses. Let's see if it revs. So I'm pretty made up with that, guys. That's just finished my evening off nice, just to get this running here, actually tick over and run and know the engine sounds good. I'm well happy with that. So yeah, the looks like whatever this is, if any of you guys can tell me in the comments what that is it a boost controller or something? I'm not entirely sure. I've never worked on one of these engines, guys, so it's all new to me. But as soon as I put that pipe back on there, it kills the car. Even if I just place my finger over it, it kills the car, and that comes directly from the inlet manifold there. So we are getting somewhere. It does run now, but I think I'm now having fuel pressure issues. Now, one thing I've just come across is these fuel lines. Check these out. Look at them. They're well small. They're like, they must be no bigger than 6 mil. That is going to be well restrictive. I mean, it's almost as small as the brake pipe. That's definitely never going to give enough fuel. I don't know what they were thinking putting them on. So yeah, I think that's going to be one of the next things, guys. We're going to have to repipe this and run some new fuel lines in, at least 8 mil they want to be, to supply a decent feed and a decent flow to this car. If this car has been running and driving on those fuel lines, I will be very, very surprised. So have I been told the truth about this car? Has it been on the road? Has it ran as it drive? Has it ran as it drove even with those fuel lines? I have my doubts, but I could be wrong. You never know. Right, so I'm going to show you underneath this thing now, guys. It's a little bit rough under here. It does need quite a little bit of fettling, quite a little bit of work. It's obviously a project car. Do bear that in mind when I show you the underneath. This is the start of the project, guys. So you've seen what we've done to the underneath. of the i200 and the one of our Kevins. We absolutely mint these underneath. Now we won't be going to that extent with this car, but we will be making it a lot nicer than it is. So I'm just going to jump down the pit. I'll be back with you in a sec. Okay, so here we are down the pit. Now the exhaust on this car, I've never ever seen anything like it. Look at that. What the fucking hell's that? Wow. Now that's just the start. This gets better. Check this exhaust out. Let me follow it down here. Holy moly, look at that. What is going on here? Wow. Now that is some special engineering if I've ever seen it. Yeah. But also the exhaust is contacting the prop shaft cross member. That will be, I would imagine, making a right racket when you're driving down the road. Oh my god. Wow. Here we go again. Check that out. And look, the downpipe is a flexi tube. Oh my god, that is a bodge. Wow. Yeah, I think we need a new exhaust on this one, guys. And look at that gearbox mount as well. Jesus. They're trying to weight save there or something. That's not going to be very strong now, is it? So yes, that will be getting replaced as well. Now, as I was saying, guys, look at these fuel lines. How thin they are. There's just no way on earth that they are going to supply enough fuel to keep this engine running as it should. That's the brake line, and these are the fuel feed and the fuel return. That is mental. Whoever fitted them, I don't know what they were thinking. Well, there's not even any clips on them. I mean, they're just, it's not good. The joins aren't good. I wouldn't trust driving this down the road. I mean, that's not good. And also it has got R6 holes on it, so that hose is not going to be any good now either. That's going to have to come off. Even the rubber hose is like, I don't even know what that is, 6mm, 7mm maybe. Definitely not big enough, so that is definitely something we're going to have to deal with. Now, on the plus side, it has all been poly bushed. So we've got all polyurethane bushes in pretty much everywhere. All up there and all up there. It's a little bit scabby under here, but it is solid, and it is a good base to make a good car. Just wants a little bit of love, and that's what we're here for. You know, it's not a complete car. We bought it to do work on it, so we will make it a lot tidier under here. Now this is the fuel pump setup. Some weird bash guard that's been fitted on it. That's a bit odd. Fuel pump wiring looks quite special. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I wouldn't trust that either. This is going to be coming off. We'll get in here, we'll change this filter, we'll put a new pump on it because that pump looks as old as me. And yeah, we'll deal with that. But we'll be dropping all the oils as well, just so we know it's right. We're going through the diff oil, gearbox oil, engine oil, and we're going through this car completely back to front, and we will be making it safe and make sure everything as good as it can be made on the time frame we're on and on the budget we're on. But it will be a hell of a lot better than it is. Well, yeah, rust wise it's pretty solid. Shell doesn't look too bad, it's just a little bit battered. There's a couple of dents. It's obviously been jacked up in the wrong spot there. I'll have to see if we can slide hammer that back out, weld some tabs in it and just give it a bit of a dink down, see if we can get that out. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that prop shaft is going to be strong enough. Now, I have got form for breaking prop shafts, and it actually scares the living hell out of me. And it's still got the aluminium torque tube as well, so for the power this car is going to be putting out, I would say that this needs at least a two-piece prop shaft fitting. Ideally, it would probably want a stronger rear axle, like a 4HA or an English axle, something like that. But you can get quite a bit of power in these manta axles if you fit a steel torque tube and a limited slip diff. It will make it a lot stronger, so that could be the route we go down with this, just for simplicity. But you won't be doing any sort of hard launches from standstill on this standard stuff, because it would just annihilate it. Now, I had a Manta with a Saab B204 engine in it, and yeah, I put it on the boost quite hard, and I think I got flat out in third gear, and the prop shaft basically just twisted in half, snapped in half. The prop shaft then came round and ripped clean through the floor all the way around. The prop shaft, the back half of the prop shaft then hit the floor, and almost pole vaulted me upside down, locked the back wheels up and almost sent me through a farmer's field. So I've got quite a bit of form for breaking prop shafts, and they do scare me now after that situation. So yes, I will be looking into that quite closely to make sure it is going to be safe. So there we have it, guys. What do you think of this project then? Let me know in the comments, where would you go with this car? How far would you go with it? Got me some ideas in the comments down below. Have a quick walk round of it. It is a good looking car. Them wheels just don't look right. They just, I don't know what it is. They do look alright on the camera, but trust me, when you're here in person, there's just something strange about them. They just don't look right on the car. So again, let me know in the comments, guys, what would you do with these wheels? Stickers, leave them on, take them off, leave it completely blank canvas, just in black, a bit of a stealth car. Or would you leave the stickers on, or would you take them off and put different stickers on? Sun strip I really don't like, so that is going to be coming off 100%. So yeah, there we go, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have enjoyed this episode, please do give us a thumbs up. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, and we'll see you all on the next video.